Hey everybody, Christian from Treasure Town, and right now in my hand I have a bag of 1943 pennies. And not all of them are made the same. There are definitely a lot of different things that you want to be looking for when judging and assessing the value of your 1943 pennies. Things that might make your 1943 penny worth a lot more money might include a different metal being used, a different mint mark, an over mint mark, a double die obverse, a double die reverse. There's tons of different things to be on the lookout for, and I've compiled a presentation that will explain what you want to check your 1943 pennies for, because there are several of them that are worth enormous amounts of money, and also explaining that some of your 1943 pennies may not be worth very much. So if you want to get the full picture on your 1943 pennies, stick around and watch the rest of the video. So first up is that 1943 P, D, or S steel cent. A lot of people have questions what that little letter under the 1943 might mean. Well, if there is no letter, that means it's minted in Philadelphia. If there is a D, as shown here on the left, that would mean that it was minted in Denver, Colorado. And if there's an S, that would mean that the coin was made in a mint in San Francisco, California. Now we're going to get into 10 different coins that are worth a lot of money, and there's different ways and indicators that will make your coin worth a lot of money that you should look for. However, if none of them are present on the coin and you just have one of these, unless the coin is in really, really nice condition, it's probably going to be worth about 10 to 15 cents. And if it looks really uncirculated like this, maybe a few dollars. And if it's an exceptional coin in a professionally graded holder in a really high grade, then it can be worth a fair amount of money. But unless it's that, it's probably going to be a 10 or 15 cent coin, if it looks pretty beat up. Now, coming in at number 10 is the first specialty one that you want to look for, and this is on the 1943S. And this coin has a repunched mint mark, so the mint mark has been put on twice almost. You can see the spread in the top left of the coin. The top, it's like the northwest, I should say, and the coin is going to be worth about $5 to $10 in a normal condition. If you get it in a MS60, which is a condition where it's a little bit of marking and wear, but really not too much, that's going to be a $20 coin. And then a very nice, well-preserved example of this would be about $50. They will be getting a lot more valuable as we go on, but the number 9 is the 1943D double die obverse steel cent. Now, this coin has some of the doubling, meaning that it's like it's been hit twice almost. It's doubled. The lettering is doubled. That's what that kind of derives from. You can see it especially here along the 9, as well as in the L a bit, but the coin is going to be worth probably $10 to $15 if it's really circulated, $30 and about uncirculated $50, which is there's some wear but still looks pretty good. And then the conditions I talked about before, $50 for MS60 and $100 for MS65. Number 8, we get a similar coin, except this time it has to have the S mint mark. That's the 1943S double die obverse. Now there's a lot of more of these found, and the doubling is far greater, as you can see here in the 1 or in the 9. There's a lot of spread there, as well as in the B and the E and the R. It's really obvious. You could definitely see it, and you'll know if you have it. In terms of the values on this one, a VF20 is going to be $15, and AU50 spikes to about $75. Not much of an increase to MS60, where it's a $105 coin, but since it's a pretty popular variety, it's about $285 in MS65. Number 7, we have a double die reverse steel cent, and you'll be able to see the E pluribus unum on the back, but it's kind of difficult if you only have one coin to detect this, but there's really a lot of thickness in that E pluribus unum. You can really see how thick that U is there. Normally it would just be cut off and not resemble the picture at all, but it's a pretty valuable coin actually, about $60 in AU50, $100 in MS60, and then slightly more at $300 in MS65. So it's another one that's really worth keeping your eyes peeled for. Moving on, at number 6, we have another one of these extra thickness, and the extra thickness is a ton here. It's kind of interesting. Most of the time, if you are familiar with a lot of the errors, it doesn't really manifest this way, but in the 9, it's just enormous compared to a regular one. A little bit also in the 4, and then in the L, I, B. You can see a little bit of the doubling in the left or west part of that L. And this coin is pretty popular, and its value has climbed along with that popularity. So this is at least $100 in very worn condition, $350 for an about uncirculated example, and then between $500 and $1,500 on a mint state coin. Remember, this one is going to be one without the mint mark. Number 5 is pretty interesting. It's the repunched mint mark steel cent from 1943 D, so the Denver one, and there's going to be another D appearing significantly to the southwest. Often the repunched mint marks are really not too much of a spread, but here it's super, super notable, so you'll definitely be able to pick up on it if you can. This one's a good one to find in the lower conditions as well, being at about $100 for a VF20, $350 for AU50, $500 for an MS60, all the way up to $2,000 if you can get a really nice looking Mint State 65. Now this is the last one that's really pretty achievable to find. The next ones are worth tons of money but very rare, though they still do pop up from time to time. Number 4 is the 1944 D steel planchet penny. So you're probably thinking, hey, this is a 1943 penny video, but what happened is a very select limited number of the steel planchets had 1944 coins or dated coins struck on them, and there's a ton of different types of these. I didn't go through all of them, like especially with the bronze ones, there's a different rung planchet error that I'll go over later, but I'm just going to give the values for these and kind of show you some cool pictures. These are some of the coolest coins, in my opinion, in American coin history. This one is a $30,000 coin in AU50, though most of them are going to be found in mint state, and at that range they're worth between $50,000 and $75,000. That mirrors the number 3 coin, 1944 steel planchet cent, only difference being that it was struck in San Francisco. So obviously it's kind of cool also to think that this happened across all the different mints. This one is also a $30,000 in AU50, but in the MS range, so mint state range, it's between $50,000 and $150,000, which is quite a lot of money. That gets outrivaled quickly though. Number 2, we have the bronze or copper planchet cent. There's like a experimental bronze, I think, and a copper. I'm only going to talk about this one, the 1943 cent. There's a ton of different ones to look for though. So you definitely want to check your coins if it's 1943 and a copper looking one, not something you'd want to miss at all. This one is going to be worth between $200,000 and $500,000, so just a staggering amount of money. There's different strikes that have been found, and there very well might be a couple floating out there that really haven't been discovered yet. So good luck with that. That would be huge coin news if it was found. And then also, though, a note of caution that there are tons of fake 1943 coppers. Number 1, the 1944 S steel planchet penny, so the San Francisco version. This one is going to be worth between $350,000 and $1 million US. Tons of these. So much money for just a little penny. Not the most valuable penny in the world, but definitely one of the more valuable ones floating around out there. So hopefully it's you that finds the next one. But there are, again, a ton of more achievable ones if I look back, especially at the number 10 to number 5 range. So best of luck finding these, and I'm glad to have been able to educate you on the 1943 pennies. Thanks for watching the video. If you haven't already, I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay in contact with me on my Instagram, TreasureTownYT, Facebook, TreasureTown, or my website, TreasureTownYT.com. And I love receiving packages from you guys. I'll unbox them in a video once I get enough, and my address for that is TreasureTown, P.O. Box 201, Greenwich, Connecticut, 06836. So I'll see you on some of my other videos.